Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video, and this is a paid request for a good friend of mine, John the Zero Cool. Hope you're doing well. I know I saw a post from him recently. Him and his lovely lady are getting ready to move again. I hope everything goes well with that. Hope you guys get settled safe and sound. But the request he sent was for me to compare Jaws and Jurassic Park, because, as he put it, they're directed by the same guy, Steven Spielberg. You have the same composer, John Williams. They're both, more so Jaws, but they're both a bit of horror creatures that do kill people, a shark eating people, or dinosaurs eating people. So they have a little bit of horror, a little bit of action adventure quality. Group of characters getting together to take on this problem. And they both start with a J. So, two Spielberg classics. Which do I like more? Which do I enjoy more? Which do I gravitate more towards? Let me start with, I like both movies. I do. But to me, it's an easy answer. Not because I dislike Jurassic Park. I quite like Jurassic Park. But when I saw that question, I went Jaws all the way. Because while I like Jurassic Park, I love Jaws. Jaws is one of those movies that when I worked at a video store called Mr. Movies, when it got to the point in like the last year or so where you could tell the store was not going to be around much longer because of streaming, Netflix, just people, taste changing on how they watch their movies. There'd be times where, okay, you come in and then you're by yourself for the whole night. And there are times like you kind of get everything done and you're just waiting for the store to close or the time to close the store. I remember there'd be times where I got everything done, there's nobody there, and you're supposed to only put PG movies in Jaws, or G-rated, and Jaws is PG. So, as long as I skip the opening with the girl screaming and, you see a little bit of her titties, skip the opening, I would pop in Jaws. And people, they'd, oh yeah, hey, this Jaws. Because I didn't want to put it, like, are there animated films I like? Sure. But, Jaws is one of those movies I could watch anytime and never get tired of. So many, many nights I'd be like looking up there and seeing Jaws and just the characters, the dialogue, the pacing of the film, the music. Again, while I do like Jurassic Park, Jaws... Well, okay, if I looked at the characters, right? I like the characters of Jurassic Park. Sam Neill, Laura Dern, Jeff Goldblum, they're fun. With Jaws, while I do like Sam Neill's character, I would go more towards Brody because Roy Scheider, I just found him a bit more relatable because I don't like the water, he don't like the water. He's kind of the every guy. So are we. Yeah, he's a cop, but with how he's trying to deal with everything, he still seems more like an everyman compared to Alan Grant. And again, I like the character of Alan, I do. But with how the character is written in Jaws, I just feel more for him, where the woman slaps him across the face when it's not his fault. He didn't want the beaches open. He wanted to tell people, and he's the one getting the blame when it's not his fault. And he could have said, "Fuck you, bitch," but he doesn't. He's a good guy. Unlike me, I'd say, "Fuck you, hole. Fuck you and fuck your kid. I hope your kid is diarrhea." But no. He just hates it and gets drunk, and I'm sure people can relate to that as well. And same with like Richard Dreyfuss, and then Robert Shaw to an extent. I think also what it is with those characters is that at the beginning of the film, Alan, Laura Dern, like they're together, and that's cool to see. But because of the plot, the story, the circumstances, they're separated. So when Laura Dern is doing her thing, getting the power back up, and there's the raptors and Sam Jackson's arm. Here's Alan with the two kids. Here's Jeff Goldblum, pretty much knocked out because originally in the book, the character died. But hey, he's a likable guy, so we're going to let him live. But he doesn't really get to do anything for the rest of that movie other than, a couple funny lines. When they have pirates, yeah, but the pirates don't eat the tourists. When the other guys bring up Pirates of the Caribbean. Or must go faster, must go faster. There's fun stuff, but you don't get to see them together as a unit, as a team. With this, that build-up where you see these guys and what they're doing, and then the whole last hour or so, it's the three of them together, and you see just how this bond goes. And it's such good storytelling where you have three different types of people, three different walks of life, three different personalities, how they interact, how they bond, showing their scars, Quint telling the story, we delivered the bomb, the Hiroshima bomb. And you really get in tune with those three actors and those three characters. And you just feel that bond and the close calls and the barrows. You really become the fourth member of that group, and because it's focused on them. It works for Jurassic Park, but you're with Alan, then you're with Laura Dern, then you're over here, then you're over there. And I don't mind the two kids in Jurassic Park. I don't mind them. Would I say I love them? No. But I don't dislike them either. Okay, this is the girl, she's the hacker, the boy. He fucks up, at times, gets himself electrocuted. They do fine, don't get me wrong, but I like it the more centered of the three characters, and that's a whole movie to itself. So there's that. So while I do like the characters, I like the characters in Jaws more. I like the way they're written more. In terms of the last half where they're together, and you see how Richard Dreyfuss, Robert Shaw go back and forth, and Richard Dreyfuss would be like this with his teeth. Or how one crushes a beer can, the other crushes their styrofoam cup. And how Roy Scheider's kind of stuck in the middle of these two. And he's kind of the odd man out. And then lo and behold, he's the guy that's gonna... he's the guy to be there at the end. Toe-to-toe with the shark. And thus they're able to get into some fun, or at times interesting conversations. And that really gets that's really effective in Jaws. So that's number one. I like the music to Jurassic Park by John Williams, but the score for me in Jaws is just much more iconic. Again, the score to Jurassic Park is good, but I don't think it's as iconic to me as Jaws. And then the rest of the score, whether it be Fighting the Shark or even the end, I want to listen to it now. While I do like the score to Jurassic Park, I never think I'm going to go listen to the score now. But Jaws, I would. I think it does a better job with its intensity, as well as the adventure moments. And while, again, Jurassic Park has a good theme and some good music, it does. Jaws I just prefer, on the score-wise. I think between the two, while there is danger in both of them, Jaws felt a bit more of an edge to it. The girl, she doesn't just get killed at the beginning, but she's dragged around, and how much torture it is. with whatever's like biting her leg, whatever, and then pulled down. That feels more horrific. It's not quick if she gets pulled down and then she's dragged around. And kills a kid. It also eats a fucking kid. People die in Jurassic Park, but no fucking kids died. Here a kid got killed and eaten up. And that makes the shark even more dangerous and even more of a vicious animal. And also, no CGI. There's CG that's good or effective, and there's some really good practical special effects on the T-Rex. I mean, you could argue, hey, you know, if I'm going to mention there's no CGI, people could flip and go, well, the practical is so much better. Yeah, because they have like 20 years on it, and you see the T-Rex, and the T-Rex looks phenomenal. So yes, you could say, well, that has better practical effects. True, but I never minded the way the shark looked. I know people always say the shark looks so fake. I never thought so. Anytime I watch Jaws, I never go, that shark looks fake. I never do. And we're talking Jaws 4? Okay. But I never thought that with the first Jaws and go, oh, that looked fake. I never thought that. I never ever did. And then, because it didn't work most of the time, it was the less is more approach, and which was effective. You see the fin, the barrels, so you always feel its presence, even though if you don't see it. And then when you do see it, I always thought it worked. While you definitely see more of the dinosaurs, but at the same time, once in a while you could tell a CGI effect there. It's more manageable because they mesh it with physical, but you can still tell, okay, well, that bit's CG, or okay, that bit's CG. I'm not going to make a bug up its ass about it, but I still notice it. But I never have to lose that illusion for me in Jaws. That's not me knocking Jurassic Park, it's me going why I prefer Jaws. There is a difference. Now, Jurassic Park does, funny enough, I mean, it does open similar where a guy gets grabbed and kind of moved around as well, same with a girl. Shoot her, shoot her. So there's that, but I thought at the beginning of Jaws just felt a bit more intense, maybe because she's alone and there's no one there to help her. Just something about that just seemed much more sad in a weird way. Also, what's cool is that the good guys are able to actually kill the creature at the end. I mean, if you think about it, you don't really have the humans kill the dinosaurs, really any dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. Which, I get it, the T-Rex killing the raptors shows the T-Rex is the king of the jungle. King of that Jurassic age. But there's that part of me that wanted to see humans kill the dinosaurs and get that satisfaction. And you get that in Jaws. I mean, you get such a great, iconic moment. The barrel, smile, you son of it, blowing it up. To me, that's such an iconic moment. The ending to Jurassic Park is good. I would say it's great. I just don't put it iconic status like Jaws. I just don't. Blowing up to pieces. You cheer like Roy Scheider, yeah! Like, that's satisfying. So, story of the Jurassic Park is good, but I like Jaws story because it feels more intense and more scary. I think Jaws feels a bit more effective as a horror film compared to Jurassic Park. I feel that the characters I liked a bit more, their dynamic I liked a bit more, and they're able to be together for that last hour, so you really see the ups and downs and build-ups compared to Jurassic Park, where you see them bond at the beginning, but then they're separated. They never really get back together till, well, Sam Neill and Laura Dern till almost the end, and then Jeff Goldblum when they didn't on the helicopter. And part of me's like, they're together a bit at the beginning of the movie, don't get me wrong, there's that, but kind of would have been nice to see all three of them together throughout the second half of the film. That's just me. And while I don't mind the two kids, again, would I say I loved them? No, they were fine. But Jaws thankfully didn't have to deal with that kind of stuff. Just the three, and that's it. More simple. And to me, it was just much more focused because of that. I mean, both are very good films, don't get me wrong. And I didn't argue that Jurassic Park, the creatures, there's more sophisticated practical effects. The raptors and how they're moved, and the head of the T-Rex, and the eyeball looking through the window, and when they got the flare and you see the T-Rex move and roar. Beautiful practical effects. So yes, I'll give you, that has better practical effects compared to Jaws. Granted, they had a bigger budget, decades, so, I mean, it's not fair, but for being honest, yes, that has better practical than Jaws. Oh, Jaws, just for some reason, just to me, well, I keep repeating, I like Jurassic Park. Jaws, to me, which is always more rewatchable. Just something about it was always more rewatchable. Maybe whether I'm more used to it, whether because I'm more nostalgic for it. But I just loved the whole build-up, and, getting to know a bit of the town. Some of the humor between Roy Scheider and Richard Dreyfuss I find funny. And then you get to that second half where it's the three of them out there and it's its own film, and just it's like on an ocean, it's in the water, but yet it feels claustrophobic when they're in that boat and they're interacting with each other, and you really just feel the isolation. You feel that everything is so far away, and maybe it's that less is more mentality. I don't know how to put into words. So yeah, while I do like Jurassic Park, Jaws, because it just felt a bit more edgy, it felt a little bit more horror. The ending, blowing up the shark, was just more satisfying to me for a finale. Because the camaraderie of those three intact and focused in the last half of that film, that puts Jaws over the edge for me. I did Jurassic Park is a great movie, but I gotta give it to Jaws, at least for me. And sharks, I don't find a lot of shark movies scary, but animal-wise, I find a shark more scary than a dinosaur. I don't know why. It just, maybe with like its black eyes, like a doll's eyes. I'm like Michael Myers' eyes. Like the shark, could be like the Michael Myers of the sea, and just something about it just feels more dangerous to me. Or maybe because just I'm so fucking sick and tired. Maybe also because I'm so sick and tired of Jurassic Park movies. I know a new one came out. At least Jaws, they stopped at a point. There's, how many Jurassic Park films are there? There's 3. World, Fallen Kingdom, Dominion, and now this one. So there's 7 of them now? 7 of, Jesus. At least Jaws stopped at 4. Not fucking 7 of them. Jesus. That's not the first film's fault. I'm just, I don't know. And most of them are just the same fucking movie. Anyway. But yeah, Jaws, still, I mean, they're both good. I'd give it up to Jaws, though. So that's just me. With that said, thanks for watching. Take care, everyone. We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye for now.